He's here living, the world just keeps on spinning, spinning.
So when I was younger, I used to kind of go for a more folk, original, like acoustic sound. But now that I've written some new stuff, I feel like I'm more in the country pop sound genre of country. But I'm still trying to discover that as I get older and write more stuff. Really, I have a long list of musicians, bands, solo artists that I really look up to. But when I was younger, I was obsessed with Kacey Musgraves. Still love her, her music is great. Kacey Musgraves, definitely. Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac, their vibe is kind of something that I would love to show off with myself eventually. Fleetwood Mac, Kacey Musgraves, and I love Lainey Wilson. Lainey Wilson is a big idol of mine. From a very young age, I just have always had a passion for music. My parents, they both sing. I grew up in church, and so I always used to sing in church a lot. And then, of course, as I got a little bit older, I just started taking it more seriously. And I just kind of want it to be my career now.
What about your instrument of choice? Have you always favored the guitar, or do you play other instruments?
So I started with piano. I took piano lessons for a little while, and I eventually got tired of that, so I started to teach myself just basic chords and melodies. And then I didn't give that up, but I switched into the guitar. My dad really influenced me to start the guitar because he's a guitar player as well. And he taught me, basic chords and everything that I really needed to know as a beginner, and that's where I'm at today with it. So right now, I'm more comfortable with guitar than piano.
So when did you first start creating your own music? You had those influences and you knew their songs, but when did you say, I want to do my own?
I really tried to hit it hard when I was around 16, 17 years old. Going to Nashville really inspired me to become an artist. I really just have grown into loving writing my own music. So whenever I was 16, 17 is when I really started to venture out with that route.
When you were 17 years old, you auditioned for American Idol. Tell us about that experience.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I was 17 and I decided, I want to audition for American Idol. Really, my mom, she auditioned whenever she was younger, and she kind of talked me into it. So we took a trip to New Orleans, and I did the cattle call rounds where there's thousands of people. I did my audition, and I didn't know how long the process was. I went through round after round after round just seeing executive producers. Didn't realize how far I made it until the very last round, of course. They told me, okay, now you get to pick your state that you want to audition in because you're going to go see the judges. And I was like, wow, okay, that was really easy. So I picked Louisville, Kentucky. Me and my family, we went to Kentucky. We made a week's trip out of it, like a little vacation. And as far as Idol itself, the process is it takes up a whole entire day. They were constantly pulling me into interviews, and I was practicing my music, just mainly most of the day was interviewing because they like to film everything. But it was a really good experience. Of course, I met Katie, Lionel, and Luke, and I didn't get to go to Hollywood, obviously, but it was still a really good experience. I am grateful for it because it made me work harder for what I want. It felt really nice knowing that my community had my back, people from other states had my back. I mean, even some of the American Idol team, had my back. But it's okay. It didn't work out the first time, so.
Most people get up there and sing, some popular song that everybody knows, and they hit their notes and do. But you elected to sing one of your original songs. Why'd you do that?
I just wanted to show that I'm more than just a singer. There's more to me. I like to write my own music. There are tons of great singers out there that are just amazing singers, but I feel like you just have to have the songs behind you to be a great artist.
So let's talk about creating music. How do you start your creation processes? Lyrics? Do you come up with an idea? Do you have a chord pattern that you like? How do you do it?
So really, there's no template. At least with me, there's not. I'll just go about my day, and if I hear something that someone says, or if just something comes to mind, I think to myself, oh, that could be a really good hook. So I'll think of things throughout the day, and sometimes I'll go home and I'll work on it. I'll come up with, lyrics, melodies, stuff like that. And normally when I go to Nashville, I bring my idea to the table. Sometimes we don't always go with my idea. We kind of just talk for a minute. I hear other writers' ideas, and we just kind of go from there.
What's ahead for you at this point in your career? What are you looking forward to?
Definitely going back to Nashville and just getting to work with my writing friends in Nashville who have now become family, and hopefully getting to write more with some other co-writers. Being with the guys in my band, being around people who love music as much as I do, that's just exciting in itself. It's so fun being on stage with them. And every time I go to Nashville, just coming up with new stuff is exciting as well. It's fun going somewhere, putting in the work for it, and then coming back home and releasing music and getting feedback from, my hometown or people that aren't from my hometown, and they support me, support my music.
So Karli, tell me about your band and how it came together and who's playing with it.
So when I was 16, I had just released my first EP, and I wanted to have an EP release party. And of course I needed a band for that. So I had met my drummer, Brad, and he ended up bringing along everybody else that is in the band right now, which is John, who plays the bass, and Ben, who is on electric guitar, keys, and vocals. But when I go to Nashville, I'm more on the solo side. In Nashville, I do writers' rounds with a bunch of my friends, and they're normally hour-long shows, and we just showcase our songs. Being an artist, to me at least, is just more important than just being a singer who gets up on stage and sings other people's songs, especially when it comes from something that I can relate to. Hopefully I sing it to a crowd and they can relate to it as well, and one day that leads to them singing my songs back to me one day. So being 22, you never know where life is going to take you, but I just hope for the best, and I just work hard to get where I want to be.
Story